We are live now. सूत्राથી સ્ટાર્ટ કરવું છે રાજનભાઈ?
You can start read the sutra. You've only taken Tavreji's translation. You've not taken anyone else's.
We can take it. Should we take the regular translation?
Yeah.
Sure. We'll just take the regular translation also. Uh, just give me 10 seconds. Yeah. Good evening, everyone. We are on talk 41 of the English Yoga Sutra series. Today we'll be covering chapter 1, Sutra 43. The sutra goes like स्मृति परिशुद्धौ स्वरूप शून्ये वार्थ मात्र निर्भासा निर्वितर्का स्मृति परिशुद्धौ स्वरूप शून्या इव अर्थ मात्र निर्भासा निर्वितर्का. The regular translation of this is Nirvitarka Samapatti happens on the purification of memory. It is as though chitta empties itself of identity. There is a shining of the object alone. Tavariyaji translates this as perception without judicial reasoning or intuition is arrived at when the memory no longer holds control. The word and the object are transcended, and only the idea is present.
Okay, we'll start. Yeah. So in Sutra 42, we did Savitarka Samapatti. And we took the meaning of Samapatti where everything falls into place together. Right? Many commentators have equaled Samapatti with Samadhi, especially in the Buddhist tradition. They talk of Samapatti as Samadhi. But because the Rishi here has talked of Samadhi elsewhere, we will take Samapatti as everything falling into place. Now, this is a series on Samapatti. The first one was Savitarka Samapatti, and the second is Nirvitarka Samapatti. So this is Sutra 43, Nirvitarka. Right? So in Savitarka, we said there were four things together: the imagination, vikalpa, the word and the object, and the prior knowledge or understanding of that object. And when there is an absorption into this, it leads to Savitarka Samapatti. And we had given what do you call? પૂર્વી કેમ એકો પડે છે એટલે હજી વોલ્યુમ સાવ ઝીરો કરવો પડશે. ના એમાં નહીં. Sorry, yeah. So supposing we are trying to take our attention into a statue or a tree or something. So we are dissolving into the object, but we are using word memory and suggestions to help us. So I'll give you a suggestion that keep looking, don't allow thought to interfere. So we are using words, memory, what do you call words, knowledge, imagination to help us to hold on to that samapatti. Now in this, he's saying transcend the word. Transcend the word. So is arrived at when the word and object are transcended. So now, what is he trying to say? For now, we have to look at what happens when an impression impresses upon the mind. When an impression impresses upon the mind, the first thing the mind does mechanically, it names the impression. There is what do you call, in the mind, there is a mechanical process of verbalization. And if you see in many people, this verbalization, it, it goes on all 24 hours. Sometimes in the older people, it takes an external form, and you can see even if they're walking on the road, their mouths are chattering, right? So you see this verbalization is going on all the time. So this is the basic habit of the mind to verbalize everything. Our thinking is in language, and the mind keeps on verbalizing everything. So this verbalization is based upon previous understanding, previous knowledge, memory, and imagination. So a verbal picture is created inside. Uh, we don't see the real picture. The real picture, very rarely, some poets or some artists are able to see the real picture. What we experience inside is a naming, is a process of verbalization. So we think in words. We say, now we had said that the incoming impulse meets an identical memory pattern. We had gone into this in a couple of talks previously. Uh, Keta, where you want to draw a diagram, let me know. All right. Uh,
Yes.
so the incoming impulse meets an identical memory pattern, and it creates a thought form. That thought form comes to the IASM centers in the forebrain, and it is decoded there. Now, there are two parts to the thought form. One is the negative part or the picture part, which is in the form of a negative, and one is the soaked in emotion part. That soaked in emotion is immediately decoded as like or dislike, and the negative becomes a verbal positive, right? And we are thinking in words, and now can we go beyond this, what do you call, this boundary of words which is there in the mind? That is, every moment we are verbalizing, and this is happening so automatic that can we transcend that boundary? Can we go into the area beyond words? This is something worth experiencing. So we said that uh, the object which we are seeing outside, when I was writing these notes, this fountain was going on at the back, and I could hear the water falling from the fountain. So immediately the mind verbalizes fountain, right? So these impressions which come in are verbalized, and there's a whole screen of verbalization inside the mind. Now, can we go beyond that? Nirvitarka. Can we, what do you call, transcend when the word and object are transcend? Can we transcend that boundary of verbalization in the mind? And uh, what do you call, this is something which we must all practice. And if in this lifetime we can cross this boundary, then we have taken one very important step to higher consciousness. So the verbal picture is a cooked picture. The object which we are seeing outside is a raw picture. Now try to understand that when I was writing these notes, I was hearing the water falling, and the mind would say fountain. Then I would get again engrossed in my notes. And then at some time, attention would go to the water, and again, water falling. Again, the mind would say fountain. So, we can observe this process of verbalization. And if we observe it, we can be free of it. So can we come to a state where the mind receives an impression, and before the mind creates the word about the impression, our consciousness is standing over there. We pause over there. We sort of dissolve in the gap between the receiving of the impression and the naming of the impression. This is going to require very hard practice. It's not going to be so easy, right? So can we come into that gap and sort of just sit in that gap and not allow the mind to verbalize, not allow the mind to verbalize. And this would be a very deep state of meditation if we could achieve this in this. Uh, right. Now, sometimes if we are, what do you call, uh, in our dreams, and we feel we don't verbalize in the dream, but if we see a fountain in the dream, somewhere there's a sensitivity of the word fountain in the dream also. So the process of verbalization goes on even in the dream in a more subtle form. In daydreaming, of course, it goes on in a more obvious form, in a more, what do you call, concrete form, right? So there is a continuous process of naming in the mind. Now, we can divide this process of verbalization, which goes on in the mind, into two parts, vitarka and tarka. Let's take the meaning of tarka as language. We'll go into the words later on, deeper into the words. Uh, let's take the meaning of the word tarka as language and vitarka as special language. So we have two words. Now, the impression comes into the mind, it impresses upon the mind, and the first thought is formed. The first verbal thought is formed, right? That first verbal thought we will call as an idea. We will call as an idea. So I see someone coming, and the first verbal thought is this person came. So this person has come. That thought has come from outside. I have not created that thought, right? It has come from outside. Now I say I don't like this person, right? So I am now thinking on the first thought. I hope I'm getting clear on this. I hope you're able to understand this. Do give me a thumbs up if you can understand, right? Uh, so there is the first thought which has come from outside, and then I say I don't like this person. Last time he, what do you call, uh, what do you call, gave me a lot of trouble, a lot of problems, etc. So the first thought which we call as an idea, we will call it as vitarka, and the series of thinking which follows, which is reverberations in the mind. It has not come from outside as an incoming impulse, which are reverberations of the memory inside about that person, right? Those we will call as tarka. So in the last sutra, we said that the samapatti was with vitarka. That is, the, the impression came in the mind, it formed a first thought, and that first thought was verbalized, and then there was a pause. From the vitarka, the tarka was stopped. So he said, sa vitarka samapatti. The in the last sutra, 42, which we did some time ago, a few weeks ago. The pause was between the, what do you call, the first thought and the, what do you call, uh, the thought process which followed. So it is in Gujarati, I say there are two paths in the mind. એક જે વિચારો બહારથી આવે અને એક જે વિચારો આપણે કરીએ. right? The thought which comes and the thought which I do. The thought came that this person came, right? So I heard the water falling, the thought came fountain. I like the fountain is I thought on that thought. So the first idea came fountain. Can we draw this boundary in the mind? Can we come to this that thoughts are allowed to come, but we will not think on thought? Then that is savitarka samatpatti. We don't go into a train of thoughts, but thoughts from outside are allowed to come in our home, are allowed to pass by on the road, but we don't invite them on in our home, right? So that is savitarka. But if we can pause before the verbalization, then it becomes nirvitarka. And so in this sutra, he's talking about pausing before the verbalize. Now we will see here that the idea has two forms. The subtle idea, which is a thought form, and the gross idea, which is a language form, which is a verbal form, which is vitarka, right? So the idea is two forms. The incoming impulse met the identical memory pattern, formed a thought form. The thought form came and impressed upon the mind. We paused over there. We are holding the subtle idea. We are not allowing the idea to become the word. And so he says, when the memory no longer holds, only the idea is present, Tavaryaji says, right? Artha matra nirbhasa. Only the idea, only the meaning remains, right? The idea remains, and we'll go into this now. I hope till now people have understood. I hope you've got what I've been saying.
Ha ha, sir. Yes, yes, yes. It is very good.
Right.
Very
Okay.
good, Rajan bhai.
I have a what do you call uh, example of this. It's not the perfect example, but to understand it, it's a very easy example. In 1988, that's nearly 40 years ago, right? So my wife and I were going to Orissa. And of course, we were young that day. And when a young wife, she wants the total attention of her husband. She does not like his attention going away anywhere else. And so we were in this train, and it was a what do you call AC compartment with four berths. So on the seat opposite, on the berth opposite, one couple came, and the wife of the man was so beautiful that my attention would go there, right? So, I mean, now you have a young wife next to you, right? But your attention goes there. Now, when the attention goes there, there is no word or anything. It just goes there, it just without any. So you have to remind yourself to remember that your wife is next to you, right? And you have to pay attention to her. But you don't need any words to pay attention to the one opposite on the bench, and the attention goes there automatically, right? So the wife next to you is Savitarka Samapatti, and the one sitting opposite is Nirvitarka Samapatti. Right. Right. So no words needed. No words needed.
Do we call this seduction of attention?
Seduction of attention. I'm just to give you an example where no words are needed. So one I call when we have to remind ourselves to remember ourselves, it's called self-reminding. And when we just remember ourselves, it is called self-remembering. Right? So
Just the beauty of the idea.
just the object shines forth. The object, Tavaryaji is saying the object shines forth, right? So the beautiful girl was shining forth, no need of words, nothing, attention goes automatically, right? So the object shines forth.
Rajan bhai,
Ah,
there was a gap or a pause in previous sutra, Savitark Samadhi.
hmm.
Here also there is a gap between reception and naming.
Yes,
What way the gap, both gaps differ?
both gaps will differ. Both gaps will differ because once you have named the object, then attention will try to seduce you into a process of thinking. right? Especially where there's like-dislike, right? So you will be seduced out of the Savitarka Samapatti. Again, you'll make an effort to come back into the Savitarka Samapatti. In Nirvitarka Samapatti, there is nothing trying to seduce you. The process of verbalization has been suspended. He's saying Smruti Parishuddho, Swarupe Shunya. So because the memory has been purified, and it is not the right word over here. We will take it little later, but we just take the normal meaning at memory purified. The mind has suspended its what do you call it, tendency to verbalize. Am I coming across, Praveen bhai? Right?
Yes.
Yes. So there is no verbalization, not because we have paused the verbalization. Why is there no verbalization? Because we have purified the memory, if you understand this, right?
Yeah.
So the very process of verbalization has been suspended. See, he's saying Smruti Parishuddho. Now, actually, this word Parishuddho, it does not mean it. One of the meanings is to clean completely, but we will take the meaning Pari as a circumference, to clean the circumference of memory. Right? So we'll have to.
Means memory cleaned from the emotions. Can we translate that way?
I'll come into that. Self emotions, not just emotions, self emotions.
Okay.
So, Smruti Parishuddho, you clean the circumference of memory, and in that cleaning of circumference of memory, this habit of the memory to verbalize, the memory, it becomes Swarupa Shunya. It Eva Swarupa Shunya. It doesn't become Swarupa Shunya. It becomes as if Swarupa Shunya. Okay. You're getting it? It does not become Swarupa Shunya, but it becomes
Yeah.
as Swarupa Shunya. So for that much time, it loses its habitual tendency to verbalize. And in that, so then that samadhi will become deeper and deeper. Here, something is trying to pull us out of the samadhi and we are coming back. Here, we are just dissolving into a deeper and deeper, what do you call, emptiness between the creation of the, what do you call, thought form and the creation of the word which is describing the thought form, right? So
Rajan, is it possible without the uh, sensitivity?
no, the very thought form has sensitivity.
And then it should be continue, right?
So there is a sensitivity of the water falling.
Right.
That is the thought
So,
form. That is the
that is
that
right.
is that, the verbalization is in the mind.
Mind, right.
So
But when you have so much deep sensitivity, there may not be the verbalization. Is it possible?
then because when you dissolve into that verbalization, right?
Yeah.
Dissolve into the sensitivity, then the what if there is no verbalization? You have paused
Yeah,
the verbalization,
yeah,
right?
that is
That is
possible, right?
that is also should be done, and we should practice that. But here he's saying because of cleaning of the memory, this is happening.
One
Okay.
practice, perhaps, which can help in reducing the verbalization is writing of Gayatri on in a book without inner chattering the mantra.
Yeah. Those are different techniques. That is different
Yeah.
techniques, right? But just now we are talking about the sutra. So talking about the sutra.
Okay.
Right. We talk about the sutra. So now the process of the incoming impulse meeting the identical memory pattern, creating a thought form, and the idea being apparent in the mind as a word, the first thought, vitarka, right? That whole process we will call as a process of ideation, a process of ideation. Till the first naming, till the first naming. So from the creation of the thought form till the first naming, it is a process of ideation. So in Sutra 42, he says Savitarka Samapatti is composed of the idea with the initial use of imagination vikalpa, the object or meaning artha, and the inner process of naming shabda based upon jnana, which is previous understanding or knowledge, right? So he says all these got together and it fell into place and we paused over there, right? And now we see that the idea has two forms, the subtle form as a thought form and the what you call gross form as a verbal idea, right? So what happens when we go uh, when we go beyond the thought form, right? Right? And can we penetrate that wall? And that is our immediate aim in life, to penetrate the wall of verbalization. Sometimes we can practice speaking to another person from a higher level. So if there is somebody you have a, what do you call, uh, an emotion about, a feeling about, you can sense that person, be quiet in the mind, no, and try to talk to him without words, in sensitivity. And it may, what do you call, uh, you may be able to convey some thoughts without words. And many times you see this happening between two people who have a feeling for each other. Somebody is still thinking, he's not yet brought the thought of tea. The other person asks that, would you like to have a cup of tea or something? And we see this in life very, very often, this happening, right?
Is it only possible if you become one with the person?
You become one, you sense the sensitivity of the person.
Then only it is possible, or it is possible without that
You
also.
pass on a sensitivity.
Right.
So you're talking without language, you're communicating without language.
Right.
Now, this moving beyond this wall of verbalization will be our first entry into something which is called as universal mind. Just now we are locked in the prison. As long as there is verbalization, we are locked in the prison of what do you call individual mind, right? But if we can dissolve into that gap between the creation of the verbal idea and the what do you call subtle idea, then we'll move into what processes are happening in universal mind. And this is a big entry for us, big entry for us, right? Now, let us go into the word Smriti Parishuddho. Pari means a circumference, to go round. So, see, memory is just a recording, right? But there is a something which connects the impression to memory. And then there's a verbalization. And that is called as an association. Right? There is an association. So where has the association taken the, what do you call, impression? So the memory, the impression does not fall directly upon, it falls on a memory of associations. And those associations all are labeled in like and dislike. And those associations take that impression to some place. Now, let us take this as an example. Right? Somebody insults me. So that is the impression. The impression. Now, there is an association which takes this to a memory, which decodes it as an insult and says, you have to react to this. Right? So, that is one kind of meaning, artha, which I have taken out of the impression. So the impression is somebody insulted me. The artha I have taken out is what do you call? Insult. Insult. What connected that, what do you call that, which insults me to the decoding to the meaning insult was an association. Association inside. These are connections. In Gujarati, we call it as tanawana.
But the past opinion નથી હોય રાજનભાઈ, only possible. Is it only possible with the past opinion?
These have been created when we are 5 years old.
Right.
All these likes and dislikes, right? So I feel hurt. That is one meaning I have taken out. Why have I taken out? Because there is a fixed pathway in the mind called an association. Right? So the impression came in now.
Rajenji, can you make more detailing about the association? I know it's, but even though it is associated with what? With the past memory association, or with the past opinion association, or with the past experience?
Memory means past.
Right, all past, everything, experience, opinion, everything, right?
Yeah, we are coming to that. We are coming to that. Okay. I'm going a little slow. We are coming to that. We are coming to that. Right. I'm a little slow today. Right. So
you are fine.
Yeah. So the impression came in. Now, what came in as it has come in as words. Words. He has insulted me. But the association took it to a memory which decoded it as insult and said that you have to, what do you call, react to this or give it back to him or something of that sort. Now, can I change the meaning? Can I change the meaning?
You can.
Okay, right. Can I say that this person is not feeling well, that is why he is acting in this way? Is that a higher meaning than the reaction of the insult? Okay, can you understand? Right? So I can change the meaning. I can give it a higher meaning. I can still give it a higher meaning. I'll say that even though he has these words, but I am interpreting it as what do you call, words is the highest form of shabda, is come from omkar, and I'm sensing it as that. So I can give it a still higher meaning. Right? So if the minute I give it a higher meaning, I have created a new association, a new pathway inside. That is, the new pathway gives new meaning. So when we say smruti parishuddho, we are saying these associations, these fixed pathways in the mind, these fixed pathways in the mind, these fixed habits in the mind, which lead the impressions which come in to already old dirty places in the mind, right, to negative places in the mind, right? We should pause that and create new pathways. So the minute we create new pathways, right, we are now not taking out old meaning, we are taking out new meaning from what is being said, higher meaning from what is being said. I hope this has come across, right?
Rajenbhai, this is a very good case. If somebody insults us, and if we remember it's a omkar feeling, that is something great. How to do it?
Just sense the tone of voice and dissolve into the tone of the voice.
Wow. Okay. This is a very good method. So you have not to, once you feel that it is omkar, there is nothing like gamo pan karna hai, kai na ho. Oh, wow.
Now, in life, there is search for meaning. There is search for meaning. Life is search for meaning. And if we can create higher and higher meaning of everything, right? So somebody has cheated me. That is one impression. So I'm decoding it as he has cheated me, right? But I decode it not as he has cheated. He is a machine, and Machine will only work in the way it is programmed to work. And everybody has been programmed when they were 5 years old. All the associations were made. So when he sees a chance, he cheats somebody. But that is because he is a machine. He's not conscious. So I have now taken out a little higher meaning out of what has happened with me. And when we take out higher meanings, we create new pathways in the mind. The old pathways which were created when we were between 5 and 12, all those old pathways, they get cleaned. So it is called Smruti Parishuddha. Smruti Parishuddha. Clean the periphery of memory, clean the pathways of memory.
Rajen, can we say here that why he has cheated? Because it's become my account system. So it has come to me, and so it's not anybody's fault outside, but it is responsible. I'm the responsible for. Can it be possible we can have this different pathway like that? Is it okay?
That is a very higher meaning we have taken out, that I am responsible for everything in my life. Okay. So if somebody has cheated me, then I have invited him to cheat me.
Right. That I want.
Right?
Can we do that?
Beautiful. We have taken out a really more higher meaning. Now the first meaning was he cheated me and I don't like him. Okay. So that was one meaning. Then the second meaning, I said he is a machine. So what else can he do? Right. Now the third meaning is what? But he did not want to cheat me. I invited him to cheat me. Right. Something in me, right? Invited this incident in my life, this event in my life where somebody cheated me, right? So that is still higher meaning, right? So in life, the more we take out higher meanings, the higher stages of understanding, the higher stages of consciousness, right?
Oh, right.
Sir, all this is happening at the registration area, new pathways, which the meaning which we are trying to take the new meaning.
Yes, so, after the registration.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. But here he's saying get into the gap between the impression and the registration.
Right.
We are talking in this sutra about nirvitarka, right? That you get absorbed. Samapatti means to get absorbed in that gap between the registration of the impression and the naming of the impression. Yeah. Right? So he's talking about that.
When we start consciously start creating these pathways of associations, in a way, are we also transforming slowly the emotional body into astral?
We are transforming the emotional body into astral. Because most of these pathways are emotional pathways of like and dislike. Right. What the ego likes and what the ego does not like. Right? And that is our memory.
Gurudev, may I ask, please?
Please do.
How long does it take before a new pathway is firmly established? Is it immediate or is it over a whole process of time before the old pathways, which can bring you down, is eradicated?
See, it is on how much we practice, right? So, say in a day I get irritated 5 times, right? So something went on the old pathway and the reaction of irritation came, right? And the reaction of irritation is a negative emotion. So it took me to a lower level of consciousness.
Correct.
Somebody is Ketav, somebody is
Yes, just I think Sharmila, there might be some background noise at your end.
All right, you know what? I'll put my thing off then. Thank you. Thanks, Gurudev.
So the more we now I pause one irritation, right? And I pause there and I try to get into the gap between something with the impression which irritated me and my taking that irritation further by thinking about it in a chain of thoughts. So that is savitarka samapatti. I've paused at the tarka and I paused at the vitarka and not allowed the tarka to come. So supposing I get cold tea, so I can't take cold tea, so I get irritated. So suddenly I realize I pause over there. So I pause at cold tea, right? But then supposing I go a little further, every time I get cold tea, so then from the idea I have gone into a chain of thought and nobody realizes that I don't like cold tea and etc. Then so it depends on how we practice. So if we pause the irritation at the first thought, then over a period of time, every time we get irritated, suddenly there will be a pause and a new pathway will be created where we will transform the irritation into something higher. And that transforming happens by creating new meaning, right? So the first meaning I would create if I take a cup of tea from a machine, the machine will create it this way. And then why can't I enjoy a cold cup of tea? Another meaning, right? So this thing. And I can come to this thing that maybe I don't like tea, but I have a preference of not. My preference is hot tea, but I don't mind even if it is cold tea, right? So we can come to different meanings, right? And what do you call those meanings bring us to a higher level of understanding. The next time the irritation comes in, all that understanding, all that practice we have done will come, and the irritation will not be so intense, right? And slowly we'll come to a stage where we will not get irritated at all. We'll fall into the gap between the cold tea and the saying of the word cold tea. We'll fall into the gap, and in that gap we will dissolve from individual mind into universal mind.
Thank you, Gurudev.
Please tell me if you have come across a Sharmila.
Rajan bhai,
Huh.
changing the pathway means incoming impulse doesn't enter into the taluka but goes to the agya chakra uh, on the side paths. Do you mean that
No,
that
no,
is
no,
the
no, no, no. That is too far away, too far away. Here we are just talking of 2482 to 5221. We are too far away in that. We don't want to go into that. Here we are talking about two kinds of pauses. One pause after the verbalization, which we call as savitarka samapatti, and one pause before the verbalization, which we call as nirvitarka samapatti.
But the Nirvitar Samapati is called as an intuition in the translation by Tavariya, which is diagram 3b. And
Intuition, he has translated Artha Matra Nirbhasa as intuition, where the object shines forth. At least you intuitively know the object. We'll come to that. I'm coming to that.
Okay.
Now, before we go further, let us just talk a little bit about memory. Memory is the imprint left on the mind by every experience, every perception, every action, right? Every sensitivity. And the mind stores it. It stores it in certain roles, right? Now, there are two types of memory. We won't bring in Tavariyaji's shallow memory and deep memory over here. We keep it on the side. Try to just see this differently. In a later talk, we'll connect it up. But just now, don't bring that inside just now, right? There are two types of memory. Now, there is one memory which is a lower memory. And this memory has mechanical associations, right? And though all those associations are connected with I, please try to think about this, that supposing you were to take I out of the memory, do you have any memory left?
Nothing left.
Nothing left. All our memories, I did this, I did that, my this, my that, my friend, etc., etc. Everything is connected with me, my I. So the whole memory we have is a very lower form of memory. There is also a higher form of memory. And that memory is always there, but we can only reach that memory in a higher state of consciousness but we have to free this lower memory of I. Right? But can you now, one of the ways of observing this mechanical associations in this lower memory is to observe when you are doing some activity, right? So supposing I'm writing these notes, so I'm doing some activity. I'm concentrating upon these notes. But what do you call? Suddenly the memory intervenes, right? And it'll say, "Arey, you forgot to put the milk in the fridge." Right? Again, I'm writing the notes and the memory, today you have to pay the electrical bill. Can you see these are mechanic? I did not ask the memory. The memory is reminding me without asking. Can you see the mechanical way the memory works? And this happens to everyone. No one can say I'm free of this. Right? So I may be doing something with which I'm totally engrossed, but suddenly a thought comes from memory, right? That this work has been left, this thing, or you had to, what do you call, do your son's homework or whatever, right? So we must observe this interference of memory because it is coming through mechanical association, right? We are doing this, but some association gets triggered and this mechanical memory comes in with it. Memory should be such that it is Swarupa Shunya, right? And it is Swarupa Shunya, then when we ask it a question, it comes out of its Swarup and takes its Swarup and it answers our question. But when we are not asking it a question, it shouldn't come and be interfering with whatever we are doing all the time. Right? And this is the, what do you call, the characteristic of lower memory. It keeps on interfering in everything which we are doing. So this memory needs to be clean, parishuddho, the periphery, the associations which lead to this memory has to be cleaned. We are stuck in the prison of memory. Not a single moment of 24 hours goes by when we are not in memory. And this hold of memory, this grip of memory on our consciousness, on our mind, that has to be loosened. When the memory no longer holds control, when the memory no longer holds control. Now, how is this grip maintained of memory? Every moment by naming. Every moment by naming this, right? So every time we name, the pathway is renewed. Every time we name, the association is renewed and it becomes more and more powerful. And we spend our life in this whole cobweb, this whole web of what you call associations. Now, one of the exercises which I talk about a lot and I have talked about previously, I'm repeating that, is to reduce the use of memory in conversations when we are talking to people. Where don't use memory where it has just reminded you, just come, right? If somebody says, I went to this restaurant, right, and had a good lunch or dinner, and memory will automatically remind you, remember, you also went to this restaurant. And we must see that this is connected with the I. It is don't think that you have gone to, I have also gone to this restaurant. Right? So these memories are all connected with I, right? So immediately pause over there. Don't express that memory. Tell him, how did you like the food in the restaurant? What was it you ordered? What was this? How was the taste of this? Make a painting out of the conversation. Make an artistic painting out of the conversation. Otherwise, it'll be, I did this, and he'll say, I did that, and then I'll say, I did this, and he'll say, I did that. And in the end, we are both in the grip of memory. Right? And then in life, there is nothing creative can come out of that. Right? So whenever we meet people, how can we talk to that person without the grip of memory? And memory, we can talk to that person through memory of what do you call life, but not memory of I did this. We want to free the memory of I, because all our memory is self-memory. It is not real memory. Right. So the first, yeah, please go ahead.
Rajen, can we do that? Okay, suppose a conversation is going on, and see, when we are coming in the material world, we have to use some word I, right?
Right.
So during that period, we can say, okay, we can observe talking, means listening our own talk, talk.
That is a different meditation, Vasuben. That is a different meditation. But what we can do over here...
Can we be free from this I business?
Yes, but what we can do is that when we want to say something, minimize the use of I.
So can we say, suppose I don't want to use I. Instead of that, can I use name of person, name of suppose Vasundhara is...
Initially it will work. In the end, it will be the same thing. Right? Okay. We had that very famous yogi, Swami Ram, who used to call himself Swami Ram. Right? And he says, Ram is hungry. Right? But for Swami Ram, that was a very high stage. Right? When I say Rajan is hungry, it is the same thing as I am hungry.
Okay. That we are identified with our own name, right?
What we can say, there is a feeling of hunger.
Okay.
So there is a feeling of hunger. So, or would you like to eat something? Right? So we have bypassed, we have gone round the feeling of I. The saying of the word I.
Right.
And where it is not necessary, it is necessary for me to say that I also ate in that restaurant. What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say I'm as good as you or better than you.
Right.
You see? So in the end, I'm strengthening my self-memory.
Right.
I'm strengthening the self-memory. Right? So all the associations we have, they lead to I. I like this, I don't like this, right? So now, not only does all the memory lead to I, but the memory is not a pure memory also. It is not a pure memory. Now, supposing we take the same example, that he's saying in the restaurant, he enjoyed the food, right? So then I have to tell him, I also went to the restaurant, but you did not order this dish. If you had ordered this dish, which I ordered, you would have enjoyed it more. What is happening in this? Can we understand what is happening? The old memory of going to the restaurant, I'm bringing it out and I'm corrupting it with something new, with my I more, and sending it back inside.
Right.
So our memory is a very corrupt memory. Not only it is all related to I, but it is a corrupt memory. And Gurdjieff says we have thousands of these associations inside of us. And we see life through these associations of I. We never see life in its raw form. Now, Luckily for us, there is what you call a higher memory. And in that higher memory, everything is recorded as it is in its, what do you call, in its real form, not in the I form. The I, in the lower memory, it is recorded in I form, everything related to I. But in the, yes, Saurabh, the prism helps to pause in the gap, right? Right. Ah, ah. See, it is what you call recorded in its order of our level of being, right? And in its order of understanding. I'll give you an example. Memory is like a multi-story building. Multi-story building. Memory gives us meaning. It gives us earth. It decodes and gives us earth. So there's the lower part of the building which is at a lower state of consciousness. There's a higher part of the building which is at a higher state of consciousness. Right? So somebody says something, right? And I react to it, then I'm in a lower part of the building. Then it is I, the lower memory. But I remember what the teaching says. I remember what my guru says. And I try to move into a higher part, higher meaning. I'm moving into a higher memory. Now, higher memory is according to my level of being, right? So if I get angry on that person, then that memory is recorded as a lower level of being, right? In the higher memory. But in my lower memory, it is recorded. I put that person in his place. See what I did. I'm such a great person. I really showed him what he was. So in my memory, it is recorded as what a great thing I did. And in the higher memory, it is recorded as it came from a lower memory level of being. Am I coming across in this? Because I'll just give you a hint here, but that higher memory is recorded in tamas, rajas, and sattva, but we don't want to go into it just now. We don't want to go into it. We'll just take it as it is recorded as an incident. Okay. Am I coming across? Just let.
Yes, sure, 100%.
So we have two memories, a lower memory where everything is connected to I. Can you see when a person gets amnesia or when a person gets dementia, they even forget who they are, right? And because my feeling of it is coming from memory. My whole feeling of, do I have a feeling of I before memory? Now, try to understand. Actually, our time is over. We'll have to continue this next time. But the mind is, memory was. The mind never was. Memory never is.
Oh.
Can you see? Mind is universal mind. Mind was there before all creation. It is out of mind that everything was created. So mind always is. Am I getting my feeling of I from memory, or am I getting my feeling of I from mind?
Oh.
Can you understand? So my feeling of I is coming from memory. That is why when I lose my memory, I don't even know who I am. But I'll tell you one thing, what do you call over here? So next time we'll go deeper into this memory thing. right? We must go deeper into this memory because these two types of memory. I'll just give you an example that one of my aunts, it's a very sorry state. She's got dementia, right? Alzheimer's. And last year, I was able to stay with her for 2-3 days. Now, we'll just take the last word in the sutra, Artha Matra Nirbhasa. So, from the garden, she'll come into the home, she'll look at me, she doesn't know who I am, but she'll talk or something of that sort. Right? So, she has forgotten everyone, she doesn't know who they are. But she sits in the garden and she talks to the flowers. She'll sit for hours and talk to the flowers. She'll talk to the plants. Can you understand? When memory is dropped, then Artha Matra Nirbhasa, then all objects become alive. See, we see this in these, what do you call, these patients who've lost their memory. So we're going to go into that. What happens when we dissolve in that gap? What happens when we dissolve in the gap? Of course, Mr. Tavaria has called it as intuition, but we'll try to explain it in a more deeper way, So there are two memories. There is a lower memory and there is a higher memory. The higher memory is arranged according to level of being. The lower memory is according to what my ego, and in the lower memory, negative memories are always immediately, the associations lead to that. So if you have insulted me, the minute I see you, that insult will come up automatically from the lower memory. If you have cheated me, that cheat will come up automatically, right? So these lower memories, that is what he's saying, they're continuously in this state of verbalization. He's saying Smruti Parishuddho, right? Smruti Parishuddho. And when that memory is as if Eva, Earth, Eva Swarupa Shunya, and when it becomes clean, it is as if it is empty, that memory, but it is available to us when we want it. It is as if empty. It is not empty. It is as if empty. And when it is as if empty, it drops its, its habit of verbalizing, and suddenly we are in that space beyond verbalizing. We have moved out of individual mind. We are in that space beyond verbalizing. That is where then things talk to us. That is intuition, when things start talking to us, right? I'll go into this deeper next time. And in that state, when many times we go for a music concert and we are enjoying the music, right? We are enjoying the music, but at some point, the music is so beautiful that the words stop in the mind. Everything stops in our mind, and we enter into a space beyond where we can't remain in that space. We've not practiced remaining there, but from our more, we tell the musician, "Wow, what so good," that expression of "Wow" comes out, right? That is the moment of nirvitarka samapatti, right? And we have all experienced it. We have to learn how to remain in that state. So we'll continue this next time when we meet. Any questions anyone has?
રાજનભાઈ બહુ સરસ સમજાયું, પણ મને એવું લાગે કે ગુજરાતી વાળાઓને પણ આનો લાભ મળવો જોઈએ.
ને એ તો શિબિરમાં આ સૂત્ર આવશે ને, in the શિબિર it will come.
Okay.
This is 43. In the shibir we are at 30.
Okay. બહુ સરસ સમજાયું.
Rajen bhai.
Haji.
So when we practice this, pause and responding rather than giving a reaction.
Right.
So that is something like I might have invited an event because of mechanical habits and past memories that I carry. Versus when we practice this, could it be something that life giving start like life starts giving us more challenges to practice it in a better way? So one is invited event versus one is given event to practice it in a more better way. So does that understanding correct?
See, every moment life is an examination, right? And the paper has to be higher. No? The paper, you can't remain KG forever, right?
Yeah.
You want to go from first standard to second standard and from second standard to third standard. So every time you will find deeper and deeper meaning. Today we are doing the sutras, but supposing we do it after 2-3 years, then we will go into more deeper meaning also. And that is the challenge. That is the beauty of life, the mystery of life. Life never stops. No? Each moment it brings an event. Right? But there is something else. In the Indian system, the people who in the old days, they, what do you call, when they went into the science of spirituality towards meditation and all that, they would wear orange clothes and then the community would feed them. They would not do anything to earn money. Can you understand?
Yes.
To earn money. But now we have to balance both. Now those days are over. So you have to also balance your, Taudeji says, first your family life, your duty, then your spirituality. So both have to move together. You get it? Right?
Yeah.
So this much I can tell you, that the more you enter deeper into spirituality, the material life will at its own level arrange itself. You won't become a millionaire. But you will, it will arrange itself because now you're playing a game.
Yeah.
And in the game, the minute you are extracting enjoyment from the game, that enjoyment invites a better life.
Okay.
When you're extracting a higher form of enjoyment from life, that very act of playing a game invites a better life. Then you get a better game and a better game. But some games you also lose also. So it's okay. But what I'm trying to say is that now in these days, the days of where the community will take care of us has gone away. We have to balance the material life and the spiritual life together. Right?
Thank you.
But don't say this, that because I'm doing Gayatri, problems have come in my life. That is a new ego we are creating. Right?
Okay.
I'm doing Gayatri, it is teaching, giving me the intelligence to rise above problems.
Thank you.
Right. Jitendra, you have to do the prism for 5 minutes. What suggestions will you use? Just keep telling yourself, look deeper and deeper into the prism. Use those suggestions. I don't know why such questions are coming. Why aren't people trying to go deeper into the subject? Yeah. Anyone else?
રાજનભાઈ લોઅર મેમરી છે ને એમાં તમે કહો ને અનાયાસે બધું આયા કરે એવી રીતે એમાં બીજો એક ભાગ પડે કે જેમાં આપણે દુભેલા છે ને અથવા કોઈ વિષય આપણને દુખી કરી ગયો છે ને એ કોન્સ્ટન્ટ રહેશે પેલો બદલાયા કરે.
If somebody has insulted us and that pain is there, or somebody has cheated us, right? Especially if a friend has cheated us, that memory will keep on repeating, right? It'll keep on reminding us. So that is part of the association just becomes more and more powerful.
એટલે પેલાને ખસેડીએ છે ને રેન્ડમ ને ત્યારે આ આવી જાય છે.
સમજાયું નહીં મને.
He's saying that within the lower memory, first there are these random thoughts. Oh, I forgot to keep milk in the refrigerator. If those are worked upon, then the memory of recent hurts, recent insults comes. proactively without prompting. That's what he's saying.
Keep observing. Keep observing. This is very superficial memory. You will go much deeper than that. Huh? Right? After so many years of doing 3 steps, such questions should not arise because these superficial memories are hindering me. Why? Then what have we done all these years? So many years we've been practicing. These questions should not really come. Right? We should now be saying that, okay, now I'm able to focus in the mind without interference of memory. Sometimes there's a little interference. Now let me pause that. Practice pausing that. Right? But if somebody has hurt you and you're still holding on to hurts inside, how will we progress? How will we progress? We cannot progress. Right? All progressing higher is based on forgiveness. ક્ષમા વગર એક ડગલું નથી આગળ વધાતું. ક્યાંય પણ ગાંઠ રહી ગયું, one knot inside, one remain, he did this to me, we can't, it will keep pulling my consciousness down. Every time I rise, the gravity will come and it will pull my consciousness down. Right? Just this thing that he cheated me, I hold on to that one memory. Every time I try to rise, it will keep pulling me down. Then what is the point? You must make an effort to be free of that. Shall we stop over here?
Uncle, one last question.
Yeah, please. Yeah,
I'm actually
you're always last in line.
You said the higher memory stores in ratios.
I said not to bring that up. I said don't bring that up just now. I'll explain it in some other talk.
Okay.
Right? I said higher memory is arranged according to level of being. Right? So you can understand just by that if the sattva is more, then the memory is recorded at a higher floor. If the sattva is less, it is recorded at a lower floor. Okay. Let me explain it a little because my friend has asked me a question. Right? Let us take tamas as what do you call?
Obstinacy.
Obstinacy. Let's take rajas as reaction. And let's take sattva as understanding. Let's change the meaning of the words. Right? So sattva is understanding. Right? What do you call? Tamas is obstinacy. And rajas is reaction. Now somebody insults me. Right? I understand where he's coming from. I understand what he's passing through. I understand. So in that triad, will the sattva be more or will the rajas and tamas be more? Sattva will be more. It will be recorded at a little higher floor. Right? But I am obstinate that you don't come near me, you get away from me. Right? So that it will be tamas is more. It will be recorded at a lower floor. Right? Or I tell him, I get very angry on him, I react and get very, then it is rajas is more. Can you see? So just change the meaning of the words. Tamas to mean obstinacy, which in Gujarati we call as jadta. Right? Rajas reaction, everybody understands the word reaction. And what do you call? Sattva is intelligence. Have I understood? Understand? I've understood where he's coming from. There's no reaction. So tamas and rajas is very less. So that memory is recorded according to what do you call level of being, what I'm trying to say. I didn't want to bring in this thing. I just touched upon it because Tawariyaji talks about deep memory.
Yeah, got it.
You got it? Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. I'm
Thank
very
you.
happy you got it. Okay, thank you everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll continue this next Saturday. I know I'm very slow. I should have completed
Thank you.
this.
Good night.
But, thank you. Good night, everyone. Good
Thank you and Jai Bhagwan.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Are you
you.
doing this session
Thank
tomorrow,
you.
too, sir?
Thank you.
Are
Thank
you
you,
doing
Rajan.
the session tomorrow too, sir? Sunday?
Sunday, purpose of birth and death, 5 to 6 in the evening.
5 to 6.
5 to 6, purpose of birth and death.
Thank you.